Hi, boys and girls. I'm Sam Hamm. I've been sitting here at Trailers from Hell going through the Trailers from Hell mailbag, and it seems that we're getting quite a bit of mail lately that's asking the same question. As we got a deluge of postcards and letters from all over the U.S. asking, where does Billy Idol get his ideas? And one place that we know of where Mr. Idol does in fact draw his inspiration is from a great French horror movie of 1960. The title in French is Les Yeux Sans Visage, but we Americans know it as Eyes Without a Face. Now, I should add that a lot of people know this movie as Eyes Without a Face, and a lot of Americans know it as The Horror Chamber of Dr. Faustus, because that's the name under which it was released here in 1962. And the movie had sort of an unusual history. It's a very beautiful and dreamlike French film by the terrific French director Georges Franju, who had made Head Against the Wall and went on to make Judex. One of the first films that he made that drew attention was a very sympathetic and heartfelt and poetic tour of a slaughterhouse called The Blood of Beasts. And it's really one of the most simultaneously beautiful and disturbing films ever made. You see traces of that in this story, which is a mad scientist yarn about a doctor who has disfigured his own daughter in a car wreck and who keeps trying to develop a sort of experimental skin graft surgery that will restore her face. This is a subject that you have recently seen treated in Pedro Almodovar's The Skin We Live In, which is an interesting movie in its own right, and which is involved in a kind of dialogue with this French original. But it's a movie with impeccable credentials. Just from the opening credits alone, you've got a haunting Maurice Jarre score, which is a kind of carnival waltz playing over a long tracking shot through the woods that establishes a kind of sinister fairy tale tone from the very beginning. The director of photography of this movie is the brilliant German Eugene Schuftan, whose credits go back to the silent days and who would also go on to be the director of photography on The Hustler and Lilith shortly after this movie. The role of the doctor's hunchbacked assistant usually goes to a man. Here it's played by the beautiful Alida Valli, whom you know, of course, from The Third Man. Imagery in the movie is very dreamlike and striking. It's full of rabid dogs and doves flying all over the place, and there is one truly haunting image of the doctor's daughter who wanders around the property with a porcelain mask. You see here, she's removing it. I am pleased to confess here that it's not only Billy Idol who swipes from this movie. I did the exact same thing in Batman. There is a character played by Jerry Hall, who's been disfigured by the Joker, and she wears the exact same mask which the doctor's daughter wears here in Eyes Without a Face. So I have a great fondness for this movie. The screenplay for Eyes Without a Face was written by Thomas Boileau and Pierre Narcejac. These two fellows were the originators of the stories for Les Diaboliques, and also for Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. It's not exactly scary, although there is one truly gruesome shot that involves the on-camera removal of a woman's face. And it's quite powerful stuff even today. Franju took this movie to the Edinburgh Film Festival, and when the doctor lifts the young woman's face off of her skull, 7 people in the audience fainted. And Franju, who was undaunted, said, well, that's the reason Scotsmen wear skirts. This is a movie that will reward your attention. It's one that I never get tired of. Les Yeux Sans Visage, Eyes Without a Face.